have you ever truly stopped to consider how little we actually know about the people around us? Every day, we walk past faces that appear warm, confident, even perfect. But beneath these carefully constructed masks, there is often an inner world no one sees. Smiles can conceal deep insecurities. Strong words can come from someone who barely believes in themselves. We live in a society that values image over essence, where being seen often matters more than being real. But what if there were signs, almost invisible, that revealed what's truly happening beneath the surface? What if instead of listening to someone's words, you could watch the small gestures that say everything about who they really are? The truth is, you don't need to be a psychologist to see beyond appearances. There are two simple, but deeply revealing, signs that expose someone's true character. Two subtle moments in daily life that, once you learn to recognize them, completely change how you see others, and yourself. Imagine for a moment that you had a special kind of sight. A sensitivity that goes beyond logic, beyond spoken language. It's like being able to perceive the truth that lives in the spaces between words. This kind of perception doesn't require any supernatural ability. It comes from awareness. From presence. Because authenticity doesn't shout, it whispers. And only those who slow down can hear it. The two signs that reveal someone's true self are so subtle that most people miss them. And yet, once you notice them, they become impossible to ignore. The first appears when there's nothing to gain. When someone interacts with a person who has nothing to offer them, no status, no influence, no benefit. That's when the mask falls. That's when the social script dissolves. Carl Jung once said that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there's any reaction, both are transformed. But what happens when the other person holds no symbolic value? When they have no advantage to offer? That's when the first sign appears. Watch how someone treats a waiter. A grocery store clerk. A stranger asking for directions. A colleague who makes a small mistake. A truly empathetic person treats everyone with the same respect, regardless of social hierarchy. Their kindness isn't performative, it's a natural reflection of who they are on the inside. On the other hand, someone who belittles, humiliates, or ignores those in lower positions is, in fact, revealing a deep inner wound. Arrogance is often a disguise for insecurity. The need to feel superior is a symptom of a fragile ego afraid of being invisible. These behaviors, though small, are windows into a person's emotional maturity. Want to know who someone really is? Watch how they treat people who can't give them anything in return. The silence between their sentences. Their patience with those who are still learning. Their ability to see humanity in others, even when there's nothing to gain. And now, the second sign, one that reveals more about integrity than any speech, how someone relates to their own word. Small promises reveal big souls. And it's not just about major public commitments. It's about saying they'll call, and actually calling. Saying they'll show up at 2 p.m., and arriving at 2 p.m. Remembering a detail that seemed insignificant, and showing you that it wasn't. Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Every time someone keeps their word, especially when it would be easier to break it, they are silently declaring their values. Their actions become an extension of their soul. And in that detail lies the strength of an authentic personality. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. The world is full of people who overpromise and underdeliver. Who talk about ethics, respect, and presence, yet disappear when challenges arise. Now look at the opposite. Those who don't announce their reliability, they simply live it. Who don't need applause to fulfill their promises. Who follow through quietly, consistently. These people have an inner alignment that's rare. And when things go wrong, because they inevitably do, they don't run. They don't blame others. They don't minimize. They take responsibility. They explain with honesty. And that's the difference between someone who lives to impress, and someone who lives in truth. As Brené Brown reminds us, sincerely owning a broken promise is one of the clearest signs of emotional maturity. Because it's not about never failing. It's about how we respond when we do. It's about integrity, not perfection. And when someone acts this way, you can trust them. Because what's at stake is not just respect for you, but the respect they have for themselves. And here's a crucial point. Maybe the most important one of all, as you observe these two traits in others, you inevitably begin to turn that gaze inward. How do you treat people who can't offer you anything? Do you see them as unique beings, or simply as obstacles, tools, distractions? And what about the promises you make, not just to others, but to yourself? Those silent decisions, like taking care of your health, keeping a habit, not sabotaging your own growth. Do you honor your inner commitments? Because ultimately, all of this reveals something deep, your level of self-respect. The way you treat yourself. The invisible inner structure that either supports or sabotages your dreams. And seeing that, with honesty, without judgment, can be the beginning of a powerful transformation. Because this isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about aligning who you are, with who you truly want to be. The truth is, character isn't built in big moments. It's revealed in the small ones. In the decision to listen, when interrupting would be easier. In a gesture of gratitude, even on a hard day. In a silence that respects another's space, even when you have so much to say. And those choices, made consistently, quietly, and with commitment, shape who you are. More than degrees. More than looks. More than any social status. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, requires integrity. It demands that you face yourself with courage, and accept the shadows that still live within you. And that acceptance begins in the simplest of choices. In the moments when no one's watching. In encounters where there's nothing to gain. Because that's where the truth lives. Authenticity is silent, but it leaves a trail. And once you learn to see it in others, you'll start recognizing it in yourself. So next time you meet someone new, or even revisit someone you think you already know, don't be seduced by charm, eloquence, or appearances alone. Watch the details. The silences between phrases. How they treat the space around them, animals, strangers. The consistency between what they say and what they do. Because it's in these small gestures that the invisible becomes visible. That the soul begins to show itself. And the more you train this kind of sight, the more you understand that the true reading of others begins with reading yourself. Not to judge. But to understand. Not to separate. But to integrate. Because the world needs fewer masks, and more presence. If this video moved you, awakened something in you, or simply made you reflect, share it with someone who values truth more than appearance. And if you feel like you're on this journey of inner transformation, subscribe to Conscious Psyche. Here, we don't seek perfection. We seek depth. Because true awakening begins the moment you stop asking, who should I appear to be? And start asking, who am I when no one's watching? That is the beginning of real freedom.